In this lesson, we're going to learn how to trim entities. Select the Trim Entities tool from the Sketch toolbar. First, we're going to choose the Power Trim option. Hold down your left mouse button and simply drag the tool across the entities. To extend your entities, hold down Shift and the left mouse button. Drag across your entities. The corner function will trim two selected entities at an intersection or a virtual intersection. The Trim Away Inside function trims entities inside other selected entities. The red line gives us a preview of the trim. Trim Away Outside works in the same manner, but the opposite way. Trim to the closest will trim entities up to the closest intersection. Or, this can allow you to extend an entity up to the closest intersection with another entity. And you do that by holding the mouse and dragging the entity. This concludes our review of trimming. In this lesson, we will learn about the offset function. The offset function adds sketch entities by offsetting faces, edges, or curves, or other sketch entities a selected distance. Select it from the Sketch toolbar, and I'm going to enter a value of 15 millimeters. I'm going to leave Add Dimensions checked. Now I select my first entity to offset. We can reverse the offset direction by checking this box here. Select Chain. We'll offset a chain of entities. And Bidirectional will create an offset on both sides. We can cap the ends of the offset with arcs or lines, and also make base construction geometry by selecting this box. You can drag the offset and drag it up and down to change the offset distance. After we're done with the offset, we can still resize our geometry. And that concludes our review of the Offset tool. In this lesson, we'll learn how to use a single sketch for doing multiple extrusions. First, we'll select the Extrude tool and this sketch here. Because we've got multiple contours and regions, SolidWorks has automatically activated the Selected Contours area. I'm going to select the outside contour and reverse the extrusion direction. Here we'll enter a value of 2 millimeters. Let's leave the direction blind and accept. Now I'm going to create a second extrusion. We select the Extrude tool and the same sketch. Now let's select the outside and inside contours. This time we'll enter a value of 10 millimeters and accept it. Lastly, let's select the Extrude tool again and the same sketch. Now I'm going to select a number of regions. As you can see, when I drag my mouse over a region, SolidWorks highlights it. I'm going to select this region, this one here, and this one here. We're going to insert a value of 1 millimeter this time and accept it. Now we have our part created from a single sketch using multiple extrusions. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to insert a picture into a sketch. First, right-click on the top plane and select Insert Sketch. Now I'll select Sketch Picture from the Sketch toolbar. An Open dialog box opens. It allows us to insert the most commonly used picture file formats. We've got GIFs, JPEGs, TIFFs, etc. I'm going to select this top file. I click here to see the preview and click Open. Okay, here is our picture inserted. The picture that you've inserted is associated with the active sketch. The X and Y fields allow you to select the distance in millimeters from the origin point. We can rotate the picture, resize it on both the X and Y directions. If this box is checked, the lock aspect ratio, the picture will resize proportionately. If you leave it unchecked, you can resize the X and Y directions independently. We can use these two buttons down here to flip the orientation of the picture. And we can also use the mouse to reposition the picture or to resize it. Transparency, we've got 4 options here. None, from File, and as you can see here, the current file doesn't have any transparency. Full image. We can adjust the image transparency with this slider. Lastly is an option to set a user-defined transparency. Here we choose the color that we want to make transparent. In this case, it would be white. And adjust the transparency as we need. 1 in this program equals 100%. As you can see, there's still some white areas around the picture. The Match Tolerance tool will help address this. When match tolerance is set to 0, transparency applies only to the exact color you've selected. If you raise this value, the transparency gauge is a little more flexible. As you can see here, the transparency selection applies to a wider selection of colors. Our white border is mostly disappeared. I'm going to click OK, and now we're ready to do some sketching. Let's select the Spline tool, and we will sketch the top edge of this mouse. Right-click and select End Spline. Now we can adjust the points to better match our curve. Let's zoom in for more accuracy. And we'll kind of drag these to get exactly the right curve. A little bit here, There we go. A little bit more here. Okay, and so on.